Hello everyone and welcome to our Team 4 Graduate Capstone project. This is a white paper presentation by Angela Munoz, Roomaana Jambusaria, and Erima Ojowu. Our corresponding white paper presentation includes information from our original document that includes our recommendations for implementing new password policies and procedures at my University of Georgia. Recently, the Chief Information Officer, the CIO of my University of Georgia, has tasked our information technology team with the great honor and challenge of investigating and examining the existing institutional IT policies and procedures so that we may incorporate our skills, knowledge, and research to create an innovative recommendation for new and improved policies and procedures regarding campus password security. While examining this white paper, remember that our team has combined the most efficient, effective, and innovative recommendations for my University of Georgia, since we have incorporated the leading industry standards, expert IT practices, and enhanced user-friendly accessibility and security options for academic professionals.
The Chief Information Officer of my University of Georgia has given our information technology team the privilege to investigate and examine the current policies in place and recommend new and improved policies based on our knowledge and research skills. Our team strives to focus on laying out a strategic process for determining the current policies and guidelines and will reflect and revise these practices to develop an enhanced set of strategies. We will focus on leading industry standards, expert IT practices, user-friendly accessibility, and several security options for academic professionals. So why is a password policy recommendation required? Why is it so needed? In this day and age, password security is a pivotal part of our lives and used every single day. It is important to have strict policies and procedures in place to prevent unauthorized access to confidential information. As passwords can reveal our personal, professional, and educational lives, we should certainly spend a considerable amount of time understanding what they are and how they can be implemented to provide a diverse spectrum of safety and security. What is a password? A password is a word, phrase, or a string of characters that is required to grant admission into a particular application, web page, or an organization. For an example, a financial institution such as a bank or a school such as a university or college would require a password for access. Password policy is simply a standard designed to protect computer or network systems. It is for these reasons Middle Georgia State University takes all the required precautions to maintain privacy expectations and obligations to protect its users from harm. Why and how passwords are threatened. Password hygiene is a problem worldwide. Many users lack the knowledge required to develop passwords that will be difficult to crack down and resort to simpler passwords that require little effort to remember. Many users choose passwords that are far too simple, such as birthdays, names, or even pet names. All of this information is easily accessible through checking one's social media account. This is just one of several ways a password can be compromised. I will now talk about the other ways a password may be compromised, such as through a phishing attack, a brute force attack, a password guessing method, or shoulder surfing. We'll begin with phishing attack, which is a web-based attack in which the user is redirected into a fake website to steal the user's password. An example of a phishing attack would be when a user wants to type in www.gmail.com, but instead the attacker redirects the user to a website that's spelled almost the same, but not exactly. And when the user types in all of their information, the attacker steals all of that info. A brute force attack allows hackers to crack down through software programs that can generate billions of passwords for the hacker to try. The brute force attack allows the hacker to try a combination of letters, numbers, and special characters. The third form of security risk is called the shoulder surfing method. The shoulder surfing method is also known as the spying technique, where the attacker monitors the user and watches each of their keystrokes. This can be done in person, through the use of binoculars, or even through a camera where the attacker could be at a remote location listening and watching the user type in their keyboard.
To recap what we have learned so far, I would like to pause and ask a question. What are the ways a hacker can retrieve your information? There are many ways a hacker can retrieve one's information, such as through unsecure websites, unsecure Wi-Fi networks, spying, and malicious software. What exactly can a hacker do with your information? The consequences of a compromised account are endless, as a user can lose valuable data, have their bank account information stolen, or even have their identity stolen. It is for these reasons that a password must be used to grant access to one's account, but the importance is to use passwords that are thorough and not to be easily guessed.
Middle Georgia State University Middle Georgia State University is committed to educating their students and members in key areas of cybersecurity, including information assurance, computer network security, digital forensics, cryptography, risk assessment and mitigation, disaster recovery and management, security regulations and compliance, and information security management. The university is now acknowledged by the National Security Agency, or NSA, and Department of Homeland Security, DHS, as a center for academic excellence in cyber defense education. With these exceptionally high standards comes many responsibilities to maintain such excellence. Among these institutional policies, we have the National Institute of Standards and Technology. NIST produces best practice guidelines, security documents, and publications for federal agencies such as Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, and Federal Information Security Management Act, FISMA. This is done by maintaining compliance and security to protect information at all times. Another is the Federal Information Security Management Act. Launched in 2003, the Federal Information Security Management Act, or FISMA, was introduced by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and the key components of FISMA include information system recovery, risk categorization, system security plans, security controls, risk assessments, and certification and accreditation. The last is Homeland Security, and the United States Department of Homeland Security is a federal department focusing on public security. The U.S. government Homeland Security provides many tips for users on how to select secure passwords to protect their personal information.
My University of Georgia is on a mission to ensure success and compliance based on the institution's mission. As per the My University of Georgia Procedure Manual, a strong password consists of 8 characters and should contain 3 out of the 4 requirements, which are utilizing an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, numbers, and special characters which are non-alphanumeric, such as an exclamation mark or a $sign. In addition, the password must not contain the student's username and should not be ever reused. To maintain protection, the password must be changed every 365 days, and users are recommended to not use the same password again. It is also emphasized that users must not share their passwords with anyone, including administrative staff or support workers. The procedure manual proceeds to mention that in the case of an account or password being compromised, the user must immediately report the incident to the Office of Network Administration and change their password.
The University System of Georgia and the Board of Regents were created in 1931 as a reorganization effort of the state's government that created unity in Georgia's public higher education. The unified educational system would act under a single governance and management authority, and the governor appointed members of the board to serve the state and the governor by overseeing a total of 26 public colleges and universities under the University System of Georgia. The University of Georgia falls under strict IT governance from the University System of Georgia, which was created to ensure statewide regulations and controls over IT-related usage in universities and colleges throughout the state of Georgia. Within the USG policy, all participating institutions within the state of Georgia must access and incorporate these important guidelines, and therefore the USG has created a series of online documents to cover such topics as far as USG electronic communications, any products, services, user identifications, and secure authorization processes. And it's all available within the USG IT handbook, and there's also a USG business procedures manual. Under the USG policy, all participating institutions within the state of Georgia must access and incorporate these important guidelines, and therefore the USG has created a series of online documents to cover topics such as the USG electronic communication system, including products, services, user identification, and secure authorization processes in one accessible IT handbook. USG's IT Handbook offers a specific set of guidelines based on IT best practices and expert recommendations that incorporate online safety, security, and accessibility for all universities. Under the USG Business Procedures Manual, the specific guidelines state that each academic institution covered by USG must follow. The BPM's purpose is to determine the essential procedural components that each institution within the University System of Georgia must follow to meet both Board of Regents policy mandates and the statutory or regulatory requirements of the state of Georgia and the federal government. Under the USG IT Handbook, there are specific guidelines in place that detail the best IT practices, such as cybersecurity, safeguards, classifying threats, access controls, segregation and separation of duties, as well as auditing accounts. And cybersecurity is important because it requires an understanding of potential threats and utilizes strategies that include, for example, identity management, risk management, and incident management. Safeguards can help by assisting in identifying fraud, exposing security vulnerabilities, determining threats, and minimizing the outcome of potential attacks. Classifying threats helps by including unrestricted public information, sensitive information, confidential information, and notes that personal information may also be listed under unrestricted, public, sensitive, and/or confidential information. Access controls are also important because they must delegate who will be the data trustee and data stewards for each mission-critical system that contains confidential and/or sensitive information. In the segregation and separation of duties, it's important for job responsibilities to be delegated and divided among different individuals, and this helps to reduce the risk of errors or inappropriate actions. And in the auditing of accounts, this allows the system administrator to ensure that systems are properly working and to make sure that there is adequate accountability for each user and administrator. Through our research, we have determined that the best ways to ensure proper password creation, safety, and security are by creating effective and strong passwords and securing passwords through various password management tools. It's said that effective password security and safety includes educating users to maintain different passwords for each user account, to immediately log off from the device upon completion of the task, and to avoid entering passwords on unsecured Wi-Fi networks, and to periodically change your password. It's also said that the best passwords are the ones used that contain 15 characters long, and they also contain at least 2 numbers and 1 special character. These types of passwords are much safer as they are difficult to crack, And also, techniques to safely secure passwords are through security systems such as password management tools. Password management tools contain a database that includes the user's usernames and passwords, which are stored in an encrypted format on the device used. There are several innovative technologies that are used by large corporations, which include single sign-on, biometrics, two-factor authentication, password managers using encrypted databases, smart contact cards, security awareness and training, password generator features, and YubiKey authentication. For a brief rundown of our recommended changes to the previous My University of Georgia password policy, we have password creation, password identification numbers or PIN numbers, password security and enforcement, cybersecurity and password safety culture awareness and training, password strength meters, single sign-on, federation identity, smart contact cards, password management, and password manager applications. As our team examined various solutions, we did extensive research on cybersecurity and password vulnerability and tried to focus our intentions not only on protecting information, but on creating a safer and easier process for users to experience all of the various applications and systems that are already in place at My University of Georgia. For the conclusion of our white paper, our team asked that the CIO of My University of Georgia and the respective reviewing committee members carefully review the aforementioned policies, practices, and procedures that have been presented here, and that they give these recommendations ample consideration for adoption in support of the implementation of new password policies and procedures at My University of Georgia. Our team strongly encourages the use of the Smart Contact Card and the Smart Card for use in all My University of Georgia functions and facilities. And this system provides the most comprehensive of password protections, including two-factor authentication, single sign-on, program management, and this system provides the necessary access controls to prevent unauthorized access to financial information, security data, as well as physical locations that may be off limits for unauthorized personnel. Thank you for watching this presentation, and for your convenience, here is a complete list of our references used to prepare our white paper and corresponding presentation. This concludes our presentation for today, and we thank you for your time and consideration of our password policies and procedures. We hope that you will carefully consider these recommendations, and we hope to hear from you soon if you have any concerns or questions about the information presented here. On behalf of our group, we thank you, and we wish you a great day.